Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Jeddah Corniche Circuit in Saudi Arabia, here in the 11th season of the Midwest F1 League Division 3 here tonight. And I tell you what, we are very much getting into the business end of the season. Only 5 rounds left to go, including tonight. So tonight at Saudi Arabia, next week at the Portimao Circuit in Portugal, which we haven't visited in quite a while, so it's going to be good to go back there. Azerbaijan on February the 1st, Singapore, and Bahrain to round out the season. Boys, we are going to have ourselves one very good conclusion to the season. So I believe we're only going to have 14 drivers on the on track tonight. Hotspot on the call with you once again here in Division 3. Good to be back. I do believe, though, the drivers who need to be here are, after last week in Monaco. This is how the standings look. Mandy goes atop the table at 174. Fuse Rogue second at 139. Gab in, it says fourth, because technically Mackie and Fuse Rogue currently tied at 139. Gab at 137. Valentine 121. DB the best 119. John 108. Soy Loco 90. And Call Me Maybe 88. Freeman 85. That's your top 10. In drivers, as far as constructors are concerned. McLaren lead the way, 263 to Aston Martin's 232, Williams at 196, Haas 193, Alfa Romeo 173. They only lead AlphaTauri by 1 at 172, Mercedes 161, Ferrari 141, Alpine 118, and Red Bull at 109. That is what your constructors' standings look like coming into tonight. Mandy Ghost, your championship leader at the moment. Hoping he's going to have himself a good round tonight in Jeddah. Very much. Last week we were in Monaco. This is pretty much the anti-Monaco as far as that's concerned. Very quick track, still very tight and twisty, but at least there's a little bit more room to get some moving about done. Looks like our first driver on track is the Williams of Fuse Rogue as he's making his way through. What is this? This track has so many turns, 27 of them to be exact. He's making his way down into the hairpin of turn 13 now. But Fuse Rogue on his way out. You can see the recharge lights on here. It's going to be a matter of, this is a very interesting track for setups. That part is for sure. There's obviously that first sector is, I don't want to say slow speed, but I mean, compared to the rest of the track, it is quite slower than the rest of it. Taking it at, some parts of it third gear, some parts of it fourth gear. So it's a very interesting track tonight as far as what do you want in your setup? Do you want that handling ability to handle that first sector? Of course, that's where the mistakes are going to be made. But do you want the top speeds as well as, towards the back end of the second sector and into the third sector? That's where the overtaking is done as far as with the aid of DRS. So it's a very interesting dilemma that the drivers have for you here tonight. Fuse Rogue's going to be our first driver. Coming around the final corner, turn 27 as he exits the spoon and down the pit straight. DRS activated here. Let's see what kind of speeds he hits heading into the braking zone here. It looks like he's going to be into the 200s roughly. Into the braking zone at turn 1. He's going to be at 206 by the time he gets into the first corner. Very difficult couple of first corners to navigate here, especially if you're side by side with a couple of drivers in the process. Exiting the third corner in towards the fourth corner. There used to be a little bit more space there on the apex of that fourth corner, but they've moved in the wall. Then this is the very difficult part of the first sector. I mean, it's honestly ridiculous how difficult this track is. Every time we come to this track, I have to recall racing these cars in, I think, Season 7 it was, here in Division 3, as a matter of fact. I remember racing this track, finishing, I think, like 7th, having a migraine for the rest of the night. It's just so much focus required. But I tell you what, now that I think of it, I think this track was definitely more difficult for those older generation cars when I played. My league racing experience was in F1 2021. And those cars were just so on rails as far as that was concerned. They were slightly understeery, was that generation of cars. These have so much more downforce applied to them. It might be slightly easier with this generation. I'm not sure, but what I do know is this. Fuse Rogue coming into turn 27 now. Looks like he's on a pretty halfway decent lap. Exits the final corner, the final section of the spoon corner. Goes all the way down into the circuit as much as he can. 1:27.735 is going to be your fastest time so far. As it looks like the Aston Martin of... Is Rapper? I'm hoping I say that correctly. Anyways, well, not Gravity's gone second, 129.937. That's about as... Peter DRH actually goes above that, so I think it was Peter DRH that put in that time, but at the moment, Fuse Rogue leads by quite a bit here. Next up around the line, I believe we're going to have ourselves, I think it's going to be the Alpine of Dead Text Message is going to be coming through here shortly, but he's invalidated, unfortunate for him. Next up will be the Mercedes of Soy Loco, another one of those drivers. As you can see, again, Soy Loco on the medium tires. This is something that we've come to know Soy Loco to do. As a matter of fact, not Gravity on the medium tires as well. But Soy Loco, what he'll do... Oh, good slide coming out of the corner that time. What he'll do is he will oftentimes... he'll go out on the mediums on his first run here, get a feel for the track as much as he can. Obviously, 131, 3.5 seconds off the pace at the moment. That's not going to be, very representative of his actual pace. He's just out here. He's getting some reconnaissance laps. And I'm actually surprised more drivers don't do this. It seems like a very good thing to do. Again, the practice times, realistically, it varies from driver to driver. Some drivers will sit down for an hour beforehand. Some maybe more than that. Others won't get any warm-up time at all. So for Soy Loco here, using this first part of the session to really, get himself acclimated with the circuit, something that, again, I don't know how big the difference is nowadays. I remember when I used to race, the difference between having a time trial run and actually going out in the game was so wildly different. It probably still is when you think about it. Time trial doesn't have tire degradation as far as I know. So to be able to go out here in the session, actually quite helpful. Soy Loco on track. He's going to be coming through the rest of the spoon curve here in a moment. Going to hit the 120s when he gets into the corner. Next up, I believe, on a time lap might be the AlphaTauri of Meme King. Well, Meme King is already done in his time lap. Currently resides 5.5 tenths behind Fuse Rogue, the only driver at the moment to really be even relatively close. Manigos is, he's going to be coming in here shortly, is what I'm going to go ahead and say is, 8 seconds slower at the moment? Yeah, probably not. Call Me maybe coming through the final corner now. Looks as if he's going to be on an end lap here. Behind him, that's the AlphaTauri of Meme King we were just along with. He's going to be on his way in. We do now have Dead Text Message, Gonzalez, Gab, and Valentine all on outlaps here. So 4 drivers will be taking the track here shortly. Dead Text Message as he makes his way in towards Sector 2 now. P. Gonzalez about to complete his run through the spoon curve here. Gab making his way in through the remainder of Sector 2, and Valentine across the line now. So let's see what Valentine has to offer as he makes his way down in towards the first corner. The Aston Martin driver who currently resides, I think, what did I say he was, 5th? He's having a pretty solid time here at this moment. Kind of getting close to that promotion window. Remember, the top 3 drivers in the standings get automatically promoted to Division 2 next season. The bottom 3 getting demoted down to Division 4. So let's actually go over that at the moment. So Manigos right now having, I would say, a pretty good control of the championship at the moment. Valentine has just invalidated his attempt, as you can probably see. Is that not Gravity? Is he on a flyer at the moment? Well, he's on the mediums. He might be. Never know. So Manigos at 174. He's getting close to winning the championship here. If he can keep these next couple of rounds together, he might even have it by the Azerbaijan round. I could be wrong. Fuse Rogue at 139. Gab at 137. So the top 3, relatively close to each other on points, especially Fuse Rogue and Gab. The worry is here, though, with Valentine currently resides 16 points behind. Now, I tell you what, that doesn't sound like a lot, but one bad week for Gab and a good one from Valentine, and Valentine could find himself in the top 3. Very, very possible. DB DeBest as well, for that matter, only resides 2 points behind Valentine, and was it Jaw in the McLaren? He's got a little bit more work to do, but it's still possible. Soy Loco at 90 points as well. I tell you what, realistically, everybody from Soy Loco and maybe Freeman P10, I think they relatively could have a chance to find promotion if things go their way. It's going to need a lot of luck involved. As my father says, luck beats skill 9 times out of 10. So, I mean, it's very possible. But what I do know is this. We do have ourselves a very good-looking conclusion to this season here. It's been very fun riding along as much as I've been. Although it felt like I haven't been in Division 3 that much this season. Last week was probably my first time in a good while that I was in Division 3. We kind of swapped things in between from rounds 6 to 10. So as I'm back here, good to kind of catch up with the grid here as the championship comes to a conclusion. Peter DRH has a purple Sector 1 at the moment as he makes his way through the hairpin of turn 13, the banked corner that we're seeing pop up a lot more in F1 nowadays. These banked NASCAR-esque corners does provide for some great racing, so I'm all for it. Makes his way through Sector 2 now. This section very much reminds me of Vietnam. Had a we were just talking about Vietnam today in the Discord with as far as the old circuit there, but it had a section very similar to that. Now entering the spoon section of the track, DRS activated here for Peter. He may even run out of energy store by the end of this lap. So that's going to be another thing today. There's not a lot of braking zones for the MG UK to really get the energy store back to the driver, get the battery percentage back up. We're looking at Peter here at the end of the first lap. He's going to be already at like 25% of the line. Does he improve? He does by about 3.5 tenths. Not going to improve him as far as positioning-wise, but at least he's got together a somewhat decent time at the moment. But, I mean, we really only have a couple heavy braking zones. We got the one into Turn 1, maybe Turn 4. I guess you can consider heavy. It's only 3 or 4 downshifts there. Turn 13, the hairpin. You're really going from 8th to about 4th. Not that heavy. Turn 16 and 17, which we'll see Valentine get up to here shortly. Even that's not really heavy. You're really going only from about 8th to maybe, 5th or 4th going through that. The only other really heavy braking zone is down to the turn 27, where you're going from 8th to down to 3rd. And that's really about it. So only really 2 I would classify heavy braking zones here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. So even then, Valentine took that corner at 5th. Of course, this isn't a timed lap from him, but still, I expect him that's the fairly quickly taken corner. 7 minutes to go here. So turn 27 and turn 1, that's about it. The end of the circuit and the beginning of the circuit. Really the only chances you're going to be able to have to really rejuvenate your energy store. As we're going to see Valentine, he's going to flick it on as he gets out of the corner of turn 27. Down the pit straight he goes. He's at 90 when he gets to the line. Let's see if he regenerates any as he gets into turn 1 here. Maybe a couple percent at most. 6.5 minutes to go here. Valentine, Gab, Tin Man the Rowdy, P. Gonzalez still have yet to put together a time. Into turn 4 now. Now remember, Valentine invalidated his previous attempt, and there he goes again. Unfortunately, once more, Valentine has invalidated his timed attempt here. That's a second timed lap in a row that unfortunately could not stay within track limits of. I tell you what, Valentine may simply have a car tonight that's set up for the straight line. It is very much possible that we look at drivers that, just simply don't have the car set up for that first sector. I really hope we see Valentine get on a timed attempt so we can check his top speed here. That's what I'm very interested in, because Valentine does typically sometimes have some of the highest top speed on the grid. We'll have to wait and see what we get out of that. We do have the Mercedes of Soy Loco, who I believe is coming out of the final corner now. Is he on a timed lap? No, but at the moment he resides 0.2 of a second off of Fuse Rogue. That's the closest anyone's been to him so far. Asif Kalmi maybe come through the final corner. I think he's done with his as well. Soy Loco at the moment is on a timed lap. He's making his way in through Sector 2 now. He'll come up to turn 17 here in a moment. Yeah, so 4th gear there, still at 120 miles an hour going through that corner. DRS is going to be activated here shortly. There it is. Let's see what speeds he hits at the braking zone here. He'll top out at about 207. Then back on the throttle once more. DRS is going to be activated again right there. The 207 is the fastest we've seen so far. If he gets to the braking zone at 27, and he'll get to about 210 there. DRS activated for Manigos. This looks like a pretty solid lap. Across the line he goes. Only goes P4. He does improve by about 0.3 of a second. It's a 128 something or another. Still not close enough to Fuse Rogue. Although being on the second row is not going to be a bad spot come race time. Peter DRH is on an outlap here. Chief Braids as well. And it looks like Chief Braids may have gone wide there. Thankfully he's on his outlap. Valentine, it appears, is on another one here as he makes his way in through Sector 2. Oh, he's taken 17 a little bit wider, but he's kept the speed relatively okay. DRS is going to be activated here shortly. Let's see what kind of speeds he's getting. executed. DRH, unfortunately, has left the session. 206 into the braking zone at turn, what was that, 22. DRS activated here again. 7, 8, about 209 into the braking zone at turn 27. Out of the final corner comes Valentine. Again, this is one of the drivers that's going to be battling for promotion here in the next couple of weeks. Across the line he goes. P7 for Valentine, 129.865. Not a bad place to be at the moment. Anywhere in the top half of the grid is definitely going to be helpful. However, Valentine, I'm sure, with 3.5 minutes to go here, is going to be looking to get something else on the board. P. Gonzalez, mind you, has actually just crossed the line. He's gone P6. He's within 1.3 of Fuse Rogue, the leader. The top 3 remain in the pits. Mandigos is the only driver out of the top 5 still on track, and I think he's going to be making his way in here shortly. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go here. Not a lot of time left to get your car situated and back into the pits. P. Gonzalez here is going to have to get himself back in quickly. As you can see, he's trying to do that. Just not even attempting to take the circuit here. He's already put down his time lap. He needs to get back to the pits here quickly. Valentine, for that matter, as well. Well, let's say Valentine was 0.4 of a second there through Sector 1. Did I look at that right? Surely not. Yeah, and he'll be probably entering low fuel mode here in a second. Yep, there it is. Chief Braid's making his way through Sector 1 on what appears to be a timed lap through turn 9 and 10. Bottoms out on the curb there. That one could get sketchy. Slower by about 1/10 at the moment as he makes his way into the hairpin. You got to be careful of those raised curbs in Sector 1. If you remember the huge shunt by Mick Schumacher in 2022, I believe it was. Kind of same thing happened. He bottomed out on that curb coming out of turn 9 and 10. And actually going into that section of corners as well through 7 and 8 and into 9 and 10. If you get on the outside just a little bit too far, that car will just basically Tony Hawk Pro Skater grind on that curb. You'll go straight on. That was probably the best analogy I've ever come up with. But anyways, not the point. Not the point. Chief Braid's coming around the final end of the lap here. Let's see. I don't initially think this is going to be the lap to hold on to here. Does he decide to go into the pit lanes? Well, it looks as if he's going to finish it out. So we'll have to wait and see. Doesn't look bad. Does improve by 2 positions. 129.842. Improves by 3.5 leapfrogs Valentine and I believe dead text message as well. So not bad for Chief Braid's. Able to get a couple more spots there. His teammate at the moment of Meme King is coming out of the final corner here. 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining now. The top 5 drivers on outlaps here. Into the first corner goes Meme King on his final timed attempt. Looking pretty halfway decent at the moment. Soy Loco not far behind. So it's Meme King out first. Meme King, Soy Loco, Fuse Rogue most likely. Or no, it's going to be the Haas of Call Me Maybe after that, so we'll have to watch this. Making his way to the timing line now. What does he have? He's quicker by 3.5 at the moment. Really good place to be. Let's see if he can hold on to it here. Still a lot of the lap left to go. Exits the corner quite wide there. It was one of the wider lines we've seen through turn 13 at the moment. Oh, look at him. All right, tell you what. Razor sharp precision here at the moment from Meme King. This looks to be a great lap. DRS is going to be activated here. Into the braking zone, he goes 204 miles an hour, improves by 6, almost 0.7 of a second so far. DRS activated once more, into the spoon curve. Fuse Rogue has started his time lap now. Mandigos could not get back to the line. In fact, he was only just a couple of seconds short. Meme King into the final corner now. Look at that precision. Exits the corner. This is going to be a good lap here for Meme King. Let's see what he's got as he gets to the line. Does the AlphaTauri have a shout for pole? He does! 127.620. Fuse Rogue has 1.5 to, just over 1/10 to make up here. Soy Loco has invalidated his final attempt. Call Me Maybe making his way through the remainder of Sector 2 now. To the timing line, he is better by almost 0.5 of a second here as he makes his way into the spoon section. DRS is going to be activated here for the Haas very shortly. Everybody else, barring the pair of Alpines, is finished with their times. Looks as if Who was that just went across the line? That was a great lap. I think it was Not Gravity's just gone fourth. Not Gravity goes P4. Call Me Maybe is going to be coming to the line here shortly. Oh, he'll need a good one here. Oh, it's going to be close, I tell you what. It's going to be P3 for Call Me Maybe, improved by 7.5 tenths. Fuse Rogue has invalidated his final attempt, and it will be the AlphaTauri of Meme King taking pole position here. Wow. And I tell you what, Fuse Rogue held pole position the majority of the session. Then suddenly, Meme King decides, nope, I'll be having that. Very good attempt from Meme King, although he's, again, and I say this about every driver who gets pole. He's gonna have some company around him, that part's for sure. Got a lot of quick drivers in his immediate surroundings. This one's gonna be difficult for the AlphaTauri here, but I tell you what, great session. So your starting grid then for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Meme King on pole by less than a tenth and a half over Fuse Rogue. It's Call Me Maybe in second. Soy Loco third. Call Me Maybe third. Soy Loco fourth. Not Gravity fifth. Manigo sixth. Tin Man the Rowdy seventh. Eighth is Gab. Ninth is Gonzalez. 10th is Peter DRH. 11th Cheath Braids. 12th is Valentine. 13th is Dead Text Message. And then 14th is Rapper, and who did not get the opportunity to put together a timed attempt. But I tell you what, Meme King has definitely secured a foothold in the battle for this win here. I tell you what, if he's able to get away well and keep it clean, he may just have himself a fair shot. Let's see if he does. Tell you what, that DHL sign seems to be slightly obscuring the views of the... Look at them, they're clapping. They're trying to get their attention because they can't see anything. They're sat behind those big advertisement boards. Anyways, I'm an idiot. So, under the night sky here then in Saudi Arabia, for what should be a very entertaining Grand Prix here in Division 3. A lot of implications at play here. We've said that a couple times already, but still a lot of drivers vying for promotion, vying for championships as the formation lap gets underway here under the night sky. Quick look at the tires here. Only 3 drivers taking the softs, 2 taking the hards. Which, I mean, doesn't really surprise me, but Meme King being on the softs, that's going to be a little surprising here. He's choosing a very different strategy to the drivers behind him. Meme King, I think, is putting a lot of stock in himself here, going on those soft tires, knowing that Fuse Rogue well has the pace to keep up with him on the mediums. That part's for sure. Fuse Rogue, one of the quickest drivers I've seen in a hot minute, so there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be able to try to stay close to Meme King here. Hopefully they get away off the line well, and hopefully they make it through the first corner, because I want to see a good battle between these two. But, once again, the next 3 rounds. Portugal, Azerbaijan, Singapore, and then Bahrain to round it out. Got a lot of good tracks here in the next couple of rounds here. Portugal next week. We haven't been to Portugal in probably, at least 2 or 3 seasons, really. Last time we went to Portugal was December 15th, Season 8. What was it? 2 years ago almost. Something like that. So it's been quite a while. That's going to be a track that's, well, it hasn't been raced on in this generation car, so it may be very fun. I'm not quite sure, but either way. Drivers making their way through in towards Sector 3 now on the formation lap here. Looks as if, I mean, it's really tough to pick a driver to look out for here. I think the top 6, all within a second of each other. I think it was the top, 3 or 4 within half a second. It's just going to depend on who gets away well. Of course, Meme King being on the soft tires, it's very hard to bet against him at the moment. He is going to have, obviously, the clear advantage off the line here, assuming he gets away well. If he doesn't, he could be in trouble. If he gets away well enough, he could be at a very good with this alternate strategy. If not, yeah, it could be a loss even before the race begins, unfortunately. But we'll have to wait and see. Stranger things have happened, that part's for sure. As Meme King's about to get us up to the line here. Fuse Rogue. Right behind him, knowing Fuse Rogue is well in a good part for looking at promotion here. A driver that fully deserves to be in Division 2. He'll have the inside line in the first corner. That's usually the best line you want. Meme King trying to line up that car. Well, he's actually done it in quite straight. I thought he was going to either angle it in towards Fuse Rogue to try to cut him off. Well, that's not actually the case, although it looks as if P. Gonzalez has not found the way to the grid very good enough. Chief Raids as well. And here we go, the lights beginning to turn on here, hopefully. Oh, there we go. 3, 4, 5 lights here in Saudi Arabia. And they are off. Let's see if Meme King gets away well. It looks like he just might. He has almost cleared the Williams into the first corner. Behind them, the Alpine of Not Gravity trying to go around Soy Loco. Oh, and the McLaren of Mandigos. No, Mandigos has gone around, and he's gotten in the Mercedes. Oh, there's a huge conundrum. Through the second corner now, the Haas of Call Me Maybe and Soy Loco in the Mercedes, both going around. Safety car out on track very early. By the time they don't even make it through Sector 1. They're only in about the 7th and 8th corner now. Safety car out on track. There is a hefty bunch of front wings littering the circuit. Valentine is missing his. Call Me Maybe is, I think, missing a fair portion of his, and Soy Loco, I think, as well. Well, Soy Loco doesn't appear to be missing any, but surely he's got some side pod damage now. He's taken one hefty shot to the side of that Mercedes, and I think it was... What's that? P. Gonzalez missing his as well. Jeez. What's that? 3 or 4 cars missing hefty portions of the front wing now, and I think maybe even... Yeah, I don't know. We saw Mandigos go around there. I don't know if he had help from behind, or maybe did he light up the rears coming out of the corner. 12-16. Well, the possible race strategies aren't going to matter now because we got a safety car out on track. Meme King got away well enough. It did appear that he was able to get around Fuse Rogue there. He did well. My question is going to be, does Meme King decide to pit here? I kind of doubt he would. However, I mean, this is his best chance to be, even relatively caught up with the field here. Looks as if he's going to stay out. It's kind of what I figured. Although he chose the alternate strategy to begin with, so, I mean, anything's possible. But, well, we saw Mandigos go around, and again, I don't know if he had help from behind or if he had just lost him. Then after that, it was just a total traffic jam. Unfortunately, there was just not going to be very much getting out of the way of that one. Has to be said. That sort of things do just happen into the first corner. Wouldn't be surprised, though, if we do see some steward reports later on. That sort of thing does happen. Soy Loco has a... Well, why does Soy Loco have a 5-second penalty? He was careened into... Soy Loco, did he stay out on track? Is that... or did he pit already? Yeah, Soy Loco looks as if he stayed out, so why does he have a penalty? That doesn't make any sense to me. Well, Soy Loco has a penalty for some reason. Not rightly sure. Again, it would be in his best interest to pit and get that 5-second penalty removed here on this next lap. Remember, the rule is that you can only apply to have 5-second penalties removed if you pick up the penalty and there is not a safety car afterwards to get it taken off. If there is, you have to pit. Otherwise, you cannot get that time taken off. So I think Soy Loco will probably need to pit here. Well, I think, he probably will. I think he's just kind of waiting for the right time. Looks as if we may... Well, I doubt they're going to be in at the end of this lap. We're already into Sector 3 now, although the final 3 cars kind of make it right. So maybe the safety car decides to here shortly. We'll see. I don't think it will, but, here's hoping. Well, despite the conundrum we had on the opening lap, all 14 cars remain on track and drivable at the moment. That is good news. Like to see that. Is the safety car going to be out here one more lap yet? Looks like it will. Unless it makes the very late decision to come in. No, it looks like it's going to stay out. So, I'll step aside until the safety car decides to bring itself in. Hectic first lap. A lot of racing left to go. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out. Oh, don't tell me the safety car is going to stay out another lap. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Well, safety car is going to be in on its way in at the end of this lap. top two have stayed the same. Not Gravity up 2, Tin Man up 3, Chief Raid's up 6. Currently resides over Driver of the Day. We've had the bottom 3 drivers so far. Valentine, Gonzalez, and Call Me Maybe all stop. Remember, they had wing changes to take part in there. Soy Loco on a 5-second penalty for some reason. I have no idea. Anyways, Meme King about to lead them around the final corner now. About to get back underway here. About to begin the 4th lap of the Grand Prix. Fuse Rogue and Gravity have themselves a very good opportunity here if they can catch up to Meme King and stay with them. Meme King's tires aren't going to last very long. Back to green here. Remember, he started on the soft compounds. Therefore, soon enough, we will see that AlphaTauri start to drop off. As they make their way through the first couple of corners, all seems well. For the time being, Gravity decides to stay in pursuit, stay in place. So looks towards the back, Soy Loco and Valentine side by side. I think Soy Loco just got around Valentine to the outside. Very good. To the inside now. That was, I believe that was... Who was that there? That was the Alpine of Dead Text Message. I think just got around Rap there. And now we've got a little bit of a conundrum here as they make their way through towards 9 and 10. Oh! The Alpine goes around and... Well, thankfully, nobody hit anybody, but here comes Valentine trying the outside. He's gotten into the wall there. Good couple of car battle. Valentine has to go around the outside. He's taking the NASCAR way around. I tell you what, that worked quite well. He's really done in his teammate there. That was brilliant. Valentine with a pretty highlight maneuver there. I think he almost... I don't remember if he overtook the Red Bull or not in that, but he definitely got his teammate. Very nicely done. Do have Mandy goes within a 10th here of Chief Raids. In the meantime, I think, was it Tin Man may have gotten around Gravity there. Somebody moved about in that top bit. We were looking at that battle there. Now here comes Mandigos around the right side. Chief Raid's being on the softs here. This is slightly odd for him to be off the pace, it seems. At the moment, Meme King only has 0.6 of a second to Fuse Rogue. DRS will be activated, I don't think this time, perhaps the next. Fuse Rogue with the fastest lap so far. Gravity within 2.5 of Tin Man here. Tin Man has slightly opened up a big gap between himself and Fuse Rogue. It's almost 3.5 seconds for the time being. Should Gravity get around him, that will be closed up right quick. Valentine getting around Soy Loco, I believe, into the first corner. Yes, he did, and Soy Loco's been pushed out wide, it seems. Either that or he's not had the best getaway out of turn 1 and 2, because now he's been overtaken by both the pair of Aston Martins. Soy Loco, it has to be said, seems like he might be struggling at this point in time. For the time being, though, Fuse Rogue has now fallen behind a couple of tenths through that first sector. It was within 0.4 of a second at the beginning of the sector. He's now about outside of 0.8, and Soy Loco has just lost 2 positions there. One to Gonzalez and one to Call Me Maybe. I think it does just have to be maybe the side damage that Mercedes took on the opening lap. That car does seem... at this time, quite the handful to drive, and that's what I'm going to assume the problem is. Unfortunate for him, he needed a good result today. And, oh, what do we have here? Rapper's gone off. Yes, he has. This is coming out of 17, I believe. Doesn't appear that he's hit anything. But perhaps has he taken too much curb, or he's gotten on the throttle too liberally there. That could have been the case. Meme King seemingly under pressure now from Fuse Rogue. No DRS for this time, although when they come out of, when they get to the end of Sector 2, they'll have it then. Into the first corner they go. Fuse Rogue's not going to have anything for him here. Mandigos wanted to have a quick look down to the inside of Gravity, trying to see. Sometimes you can notice that pace difference when you duck out of the toe like that. Mandigos for the time being. Oh, Soy Loco, yeah, well, he's done it in the pits, hasn't he? And I think it was just down to the damage he sustained. Hate to see it, but slightly predictable as far as he was never going to be able to last that full race with that amount of damage, I don't think. Oh, that was a big wiggle then from Gravity. Way to hold on to it, I'll give him that. But here comes Mandigos around the outside. Oh, and I think Chief Raids has gone off there. Yes, he has. Sorry, let's go along with Chief Raids temporarily. Now this is... Yeah, that's going out of turn 9 and 10, and I believe that's exactly what happened. He just may have caught the curve wrong and had to miss the corner. The Tony Hawk Pro Skater curve. Get that, what do they call that, 50-50 grind when you're on the thing like that? I don't know, I'm no skateboarder, but as far as I know, that's about right. Mandigos within half a second here of Gravity. Now this is where Fuse Rogue may have an advantage here. Meme King is not going to have DRS to the car ahead because there is no car ahead. So quite frankly, we might be seeing Meme King get overtaken here shortly. But for the time being, Mandigo's 0.4 of a second from Gravity. Gravity, who I think may have made contact with the outside wall there coming out of 27. And now here goes Mandigo's trying to find the right side. Does he find it? And yes, he does. With much room on the braking zone to spare. Chief Braid's getting around Rapper then. Oh, into 27 as well. They're side by side. Gonzalez getting around Peter DRH, I think, through that first corner. That looked to be a good battle, but we're side by side here. And it does look as if the Aston Martin will pull away once he has the aid of DRS. Oh! Yellow flag. Safety car out. Why? Who hit what? Why? Why is this safety car on track? Have I missed something? Everybody that I've seen still has a front wing. Rapper's picked up a drive-through for speeding into the safety car. Why? Why is this happening? Who is missing enough front wing here to cause this? Nobody's gone off. Unless his Rapper lost it. I mean, we're only just seeing him now. Did he lose it? Did Chief Braids lose it? Whoa. I mean, maybe dead text message. He's on his way out of the pits now. So that could have been it, but still, that has to be said. That is kind of a very lame safety car, has to be said. But once again for Meme King here, he'll have an opportunity to be on at least a relatively similar strategy to the rest of the grid. Let's see if he decides to take it. And surely Fuse Rogue and the rest might be in as well. This is kind of getting towards the end of the medium window, and Meme King's going to be in here, though we kind of expected that. Fuse Rogue's made his way in. I'm assuming it's going to be hard tires for the lot here. Beginning in the 8th lap of the Grand Prix, this time under safety car once more. So, Meme King on his way in. It's going to be hards for the AlphaTauri. It looks like for Fuse Rogue, mediums for Fuse Rogue. Interesting. Mind you, Fuse Rogue, I believe, has now gone medium-medium. Meme King to the hards, as we expected. Valentine, Gonzalez, and Call Me Maybe stay out. Remember, they had to pit at the first safety car. In fact, well, I hate to say this, but quite frankly, they were the cause of it after that first lap shunt that they had with each other. Gravity's put on the softs. That's a bit of a surprise. Gab onto the mediums. Peter DRH to the hards. I'm just surprised Fuse Rogue has gone medium-medium here. That seems like, I don't want to say a mistake, but he's definitely hoping for another safety car here. I think he got lucky with this one. I have no clue why this safety car came out. And besides, if it was the front wing of dead text message, we could have just had a virtual safety car. He was by himself. The rest of the grid was on the opposite end of the track. I don't know. You can't try to argue with robots. You'll never win. Anyways, the safety car's on its way out. Grid forming themselves up here. Not even halfway through this Grand Prix. We've lost Soy Loco, unfortunately. I'll step aside until the safety car decides to come in. The safety car will be in at the end of this lap, and well, it has to be said, Valentine, Gonzalez, and Call Me Maybe, their woes seem to have happened early enough to give him a fair shot of having a good result here. Valentine will lead the grid back to the green flag here. Gonzalez second, Call Me Maybe third. Remember, they were involved in the lap 1 incident that eventually claimed Soy Loco with the damage he sustained. Meme King, who was the leader of the Grand Prix when the safety car came out, is currently residing 4th. He's on the fresh hard tires. Fuse Rogue, now this is interesting again, Fuse Rogue on the medium tires. If you remember correctly, he has gone medium-medium on his tires. He will need to stop for an alternate compound. And I'm thinking he's going to wait for an additional safety car to come out. That's the only realistic thing I would see happening. We do have, what is that? That's not Gravity and Mandigo's already side by side as they come back to the line here. Gravity really wants the inside. Remember, Gravity took the softs coming to the green here. Whoa, look at that ahead. Meme King and Fuse Rogue side by side, also involved. I think that's Call Me Maybe in there as well. And Fuse Rogue has gotten around Meme King. Of course, Fuse Rogue being on fresh mediums, that was, I think, probably in the cards there. But this is crucial here. But now we see Call Me Maybe on older hards, Fuse Rogue behind. This is going to allow Meme King to stay in this battle here. And I tell you what, Fuse Rogue had to check up there. Call Me Maybe didn't really take 9 and 10 that well. So now, Fuse Rogue has to go on the offense here as we have dead text message off at the back and a virtual safety car out on track now. And I think it's because that Alpine probably has shed a front wing. Valentine has maintained the lead of the Grand Prix. Gonzalez and Call Me Maybe have also stayed 2 and 3. Fuse Rogue has overtaken Meme King for what I believe is going to be the eventual lead of the Grand Prix, and that's the reason why we have the virtual safety car. There is no longer a front wing on that Alpine. And I'm wondering if that's what caused the first safety car to begin with, the one that we just had. Oh no, don't tell me. Who just left? Gab has left the session. Not good. Green flag back in the air here. Valentine leading the Grand Prix. P. Gonzalez second. It looks like Fuse Rogue may be pressuring the Haas of Call Me Maybe now as Meme King. Seems like he's not very much gotten away well on the hard tires. Maybe he's had a difficult time getting them to light up and getting some heat into them. But now, as he watches the battle unfold ahead, Fuse Rogue down to the inside of Call Me Maybe, and he will take the third spot. And now that is an added obstacle for the AlphaTauri, who looks down to the inside. And despite not having that much track room, he's actually gotten away quite well. He will have to back off on the way into turn 4. There's no way you're going to go side by side through that corner, has to be said, as they make their way now, weaving through the S's is the wrong word. Oh, what's wrong with Fuse Rogue? Fuse Rogue's gone wide. I think he may have hit the wall coming out of turn 4. That car is very much not in a good place, it seems. Of course, we can't get a good camera angle for the life of us, and yes, he is missing the end plate on the left front side. He has hit the wall coming out of turn number 4. And I tell you what, Fuse Rogue, one way or another, was going to have to pit for a different compound of tires. That may have been his sign. It's going to happen this lap. Valentine leads the way here, half a second over P. Gonzalez, who, I tell you what, there's still some good-looking pace on these 9-lap-old medium tires. Meme King has made his way up to third. It looks as if he's gotten around Call Me Maybe somewhere in the conundrum. Behind them, Mandigos and Gravity went flying around that corner, coming out of turn, 22. Goodness me. As ahead, we do have Meme King trying to find the way around the outside of P. Gonzalez here through 27. I tell you what, he may have some decent acceleration here. All the while, Valentine now has a 1.3 second lead over the rest of the top 2. To the inside, it's going to be side-by-side into this corner here. Oh, Meme King, does he get around Gonzalez? Yes, he does. Fuse Rogue's on his way in, unfortunate for him. Mandigos looks as if he's been able to stay around, not Gravity there. Gravity had some oversteer coming off of turn 2, which does sometimes happen, especially when you're on the soft tires now that are certainly going to be worn. Oh, has Call Me Maybe made a mistake? I think he has. Well, he was slower there going through, 5 and 6. He's held the position, but this is now twice that we've seen Call Me Maybe not have the best run through that section of corners. He's now holding up Tin Man and Mandigos behind them, as well as Gravity's trying to get in on this as well. Looks as if the Red Bull of Gab has rejoined. Gravity got a big wiggle getting back on the throttle there, almost found a way around Mandigos there, however. In towards turn 16 and 17 they go. Meme King now within 7/10 of a second of Valentine here. This is a great battle in amongst these 4 drivers at this moment in time. Oh, look at Tin Man trying it around the outside, and he's made it happen. Wow, and there goes Mandigos as well, around the outside through 22. Are you kidding me? He's done just that. That is a ballsy place to make a move there. One of the most blind corners you could ever ask for in a Formula 1 circuit. Mandigos said, forget about it. All that's going to mean, though, is that Call Me Maybe is going to have another shot here. Although he's on those old hard tires, he will need. I don't want to say he's going to need to pit, as Meme King nearly found a way down the inside of Valentine. It's not happened now, but as we look back here, side by side now is Call Me Maybe and Gravity. Oh, I think. Well, they tried to make it side-by-side. I think Call Me Maybe got into the side of the Alpine there. Nope, Gravity says, good show of sportsmanship there by Gravity. I think he's saying that one was on him, and, well, you do love to see that sort of thing happening. But here's Meme King through a really sketchy part of the circuit. He's trying to find a way around Valentine here. 11-lap-old mediums to 5-lap-old hards. This is the battle for the outright lead of the Grand Prix. Remember, Valentine still needs to pit, but for the time being, he's doing well. He's going to hold his line here. Are they going to go side by side through 17? There's no way. Valentine did well to hold the line on the inside. What great battling this is here. Let's see if Meme King, he's going to have DRS, and I'm pretty sure he's got some good pace on those tires as well. DRS activated for the AlphaTauri here. Soon to be named some sort of Visa Cash App Racing Bulls or something like that. Oh, Valentine, he's not taken 22 very well. He's gone deep into the braking zone, and he's lost the lead of the race. Well, it was a great effort from Valentine to hold it as long as he did, especially against the quickest driver on track. Unfortunately, it was just going to be in the cards that he was not going to be able to hold that spot. But the good news is for Valentine and Gonzalez, their pit window is almost upon them as Gravity's gotten around Call Me Maybe coming out of 27. And now, does the Haas have DRS? Yes, he does. Gab is kind of looking in on this battle as well. Gravity may be losing 2 spots here. In fact, he does. Oh, maybe not, though. He did outbrake the Red Bull there. He's going to stay to the outside of the Haas, and well, I tell you what. Oh, they make contact again. Now, that was the second time in 2 laps that they've made contact going through that 1 and 2 section of corners there. Hughes Rogue sets the fastest lap on a new set of softs. Oh, where's Gravity gone? He's missed the corner, hasn't he? Yes, he has, and now he's going to lose position of Chief Rage as well as he has to get back on circuit in a safe manner. Unfortunate for Gravity, those soft tires. 6 lap old. Again, that doesn't sound like a lot, but considering that we really only use the soft tires in qualifying, the drivers just simply won't know enough to really know how they're going to react to the circuit, and that's probably the case. Gonzalez now to the left side on Valentine here. This is for the second spot. These 2 drivers both pit on the early safety car. Oh, and Gravity's retired. The safety car on track, and Gonzalez barely, and I think barely got Valentine there. Valentine, well, it is going to tell Valentine to give the spot back now. Gravity, that is coming out of turn 16 and 17, and has he just... Yeah, I think maybe has he just... Yeah, that's exactly what he's done. He's that oversteer coming off the corner, and I think he's hit the wall on the outside. And that is the end of the day for not Gravity, and for the time being, that French Alpine team not doing very good at the moment here. Oh, this is very interesting. Meme King coming in. So Meme King coming in, 7-lap-old hard tires. What does he decide to do? Gonzalez and Valentine, we knew they were going to be on their way in. Probably for the hards for them. Meme King to the mediums for the last 10 laps of the race. Bold decision. Valentine to the softs and a new front wing. Rappers picked up 5 seconds for speeding into the pit lane. Valentine to the softs, that's a bold choice. Albeit there's only 10 laps left, but we saw Gravity there, 6 laps old, and those tires did not look very good, has to be said. Of course, you're going to be spending at least a lap or 2 under safety car here. That still doesn't really add up well to Valentine here. And even if it does, he will need to make moves off the opening on the the first couple of green flag laps here. That has to be said. So it looks as if now the majority of the drivers on the mediums. Gonzalez has gone to the hards. Which, again, if you knew that, it was Gonzalez, Call Me Maybe, and Valentine. Once again, they pit under the first stint there after the first safety car for wing changes. So that's why they are on probably slightly different strategies. I will say, though, P. Gonzalez might be at a good look here when the safety car comes in. Considering he's going to have, 10-lap-old hards at the end of the stint here? That's not bad. I would take those odds. Safety car on track once more. Well, at least this is saving me some editing to do. I'll step aside again. The safety car will be on its way in this lap. We're going to have 9 laps to go this time by. Everybody on level pegging once more. Currently, driver of the day belongs to P. Gonzalez, up 7 positions since his initial spot. Meme King on the mediums, Gonzalez on the hards. Manny goes to the mediums, Tin Man, and Call Me Maybe on the mediums. Everybody else, except for Valentine, also being on the medium tires. Now, this isn't... You want to hear an interesting statistic? I do love statistics. At the moment, Los Mandigos has not... well, he's currently leading the championship. Still has yet to win a race here in Division 3 this season. What a turn of events that would be. If you could be a champion without winning a race in the season, that'd be ridiculous. Meme King gets a great jump. Gonzalez on it. Oh, Gonzalez is missing his front wing. How did that happen? Well, side by side here is Valentine and Call Me Maybe into the first corner. Oh, they're going to be side by side. Valentine goes deep. He's going to have to, and he does get the spot now. Valentine on the softs. That's going to help him, but only for these first couple of laps here. Again, he has to go 9 laps on those soft tires. And as we were saying before the safety car came out, we just simply don't know enough about the softs to have them go the long distances anymore. We only use them in qualifying for, 1 or 2 laps at a time. We're not bringing them 10 laps deep into a race anymore. Valentine, speaking of him, he's just missed the corner. That was going out of turn 9 and 10. I think he's probably picked up a notice there. And dead text message off track. Yellow flag is out. At the moment, no sign of the safety car or virtual safety car. We stay green. Meme King ahead of Mandy Ghost by a second and almost a second and a half. Tin Man the Rowdy third. He's under pressure from Valentine as they make their way here through Sector 2. Remember, no DRS, not yet. Call me maybe within a second of Valentine here, although he will be under pressure from the Red Bull of Gab as they make their way now through turn 22. Once again, no DRS, not quite yet. Meme King has a second on Mandy Ghost here. Valentine within 0.3 of a second on Tin Man. Here's Gab. Can he find anything to call me? Maybe no, not quite yet. Bring him to telemetry now. I don't typically like it having kind of crowding the bottom of the screen there, but we will do it for the sake of having a look at the energy store percentage at the moment. Well, here's Valentine. Is he going to look for the inside of Tin Man? No, I think he was going to have a quick peek there, but no committing there from Valentine. But now, Gab with 50% battery left has to try to figure out a way to get around Call Me Maybe, who, Call Me Maybe for the time being, looks as if he's kind of saved up his battery quite well. Valentine for that matter as well, who may be finding a way around Tin Man here shortly. With 75% battery, he probably has not touched it since the beginning of the green flag stint here. Maybe in the beginning, but not recently. As they make their way towards turn 13. Meme King with a second lead over Mandigos so far. Remember, Mandigos is leading the championship here. Still, he has not won a race so far this season. But it's the consistency for Mandigos that's really helped him, and that seems like it's going to be the case. And that is, I mean, realistically, that's how you get yourself promoted. You got to have the consistency. Well, here's Valentine. He's going to look for the inside. Oh, he's got some track to work with here. Valentine, do they stay clean? As they make their way into 22, Valentine outbreaks him. Very nicely done. The Aston Martin gets up to third. Tin Man the Rowdy will have his shot here. Don't you forget, Valentine is still in the softs. Tin Man will be able to strike back. We have a yellow flag. And I think something happened there with the other Aston Martin. It was Peter DRH kind of leaving the scene of the crime there. Perhaps did something happen with him and the other Aston Martin. It could be. DRS is now enabled. They won't have it until they make their way out of turn 19. Where Gonzalez is at the moment, kind of making his way into there. Tin Man there did have a slight peek at Valentine, not close enough to really commit to anything. Closing in on 5 laps to go. Not quite yet. Hopefully the rest of this race stays clean here. We're looking at ourselves a good finish. Despite only having 14 cars on the grid, we've had some pretty halfway decent racing here. Unfortunately, we did lose 3 of them. It looks like Peter DRH. Oh, something's happened with Fuse Rogue. He's missed the corner again. Well, this is, I think, the second time Fuse Rogue has made some sort of error, especially coming through that turn 8 and 9 complex, and he's lost the front wing again. The left end plate, or the end plate on the left front side of the front wing. That's the second time we've seen him lose it, and I think, has he done it coming out of turn 4 again? I don't really know, but that is very not good for Fuse Rogue. That is the second crucial mistake that we've seen him make, and I tell you what, he had himself a very good chance of it at least getting back to a halfway decent result. The safety car bunched everyone up. He was back in it. He had fresh tires. He had a fair shot. He's a very quick driver, but unfortunately for him, may not be the case. Call Me Maybe now, down to the inside on Tin Man. The Haas goes for it. Does he complete it? Yeah, I think he might. Tin Man's got some good acceleration along the right-hand side. As they come to the line here, Tin Man, they're going to be side by side into the corner. Here's the Red Bull of Gab. Oh, I thought he was going to send it. I don't think he was quite close enough to do just that. But as the Red Bull follows in pursuit of this great battle here for the 4th spot, Tin Man does eventually get out ahead of the Haas. Very nicely done. Fuse Rogue has retired. Oh, Gab has gotten into the Haas then. Doesn't look as if he's lost any wing, but that one could have went poorly. Now, Fuse Rogue again. Very unfortunate day for him, and I tell you what, We're getting into the last couple of races here of the season. That one's going to have major implications on the championship. For the time being, it's an 0.8 of a second lead here. For Tin Man over Call Me Maybe. We're going to be coming to 5 laps to go this time by. Meme King has about 3 seconds on Mandigos. Mandigos has got about 2 seconds on Valentine. Valentine is about 2.5 to Tin Man. So the top 5 cars here have kind of spread themselves out. Second or less for Gab. Oh, we got a good one here. What was that? Well, Rapper's gotten around Peter DRH, I don't want to say convincingly, but, well, yeah, Peter probably didn't have DRS to Chief Braids ahead. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But either way, Rappers has gotten ahead, and now might be looking for Chief Braids here. Well, he's going to look for it around the outside. Does he have it? Well, I think he just might. Oh, if he gets a good exit, yeah, he's got it. Very good move there from the Aston Martin to take Chief Braids then. 5 laps to go now. Oh, there goes Chief Braids. He's going to look for the inside. Does he get it? Yeah, he will. Good way to strike back there from Chief Braids. Oh, but there it goes, the Aston Martin down to the inside. He's going to try to hang it around the left side there. Peter DRH watches on, hoping that, well, somebody makes a mistake out of this. Answer's going to be no for now. Oh, well, there's the mistake. The Aston Martin of his Rapper has gotten into something there. I don't know if he... It sounded like maybe did he get into Chief Braids and kind of... it kind of seemed as if he went around, not on his own, but... yeah, I'm not really sure what the case was. He's kind of gotten back up to gear here, and now may look to overtake Peter DRH for the 8th spot. That's a slightly odd turn of events there, has to be said. Four and a half laps to go. Gab is within half a second here of Call Me Maybe. Oh, Peter's gone off. And there goes his Rapper around him. Meme King making his way through the spoon now. He's done so well today. Not necessarily led this thing from start to finish, but he's done very well to keep him in position. He's stayed out of trouble as well. Here's Call Me Maybe. Getting overtaken by Gab in towards turn 27. Very nicely done. Does the Haas strike back? He'll have DRS as they head down the pit straight here. And it looks as if he's just about used up his energy store. That was going to be one of the key factors, is how well you were going to be able to manage your battery, because, again, there's just simply not any heavy braking zones on this track to really recharge it. So that's looks to be the problem there for Call Me Maybe. He's about 6% exiting the final corner there. And that pretty much led to the overtake. And now here's Rapper again, trying to find a way around Chief Braids. Remember, Rapper has a 5-second penalty, I think, for speeding into the pit lane. Well, Chief Braids hasn't had a good go there through 6 and 7 as they exit the corner now. Well, I thought Call Me Maybe was a little bit closer there to Gab. He was momentarily, but tell you what, who's not close to the next driver is Los Mandigos. Has a 3.5-second deficit to Meme King here. Unless Meme King makes a mistake and picks up a penalty. We've seen that sort of thing before. Again, you can nothing is out of the question here in Division 3. DRS activated here for the Aston Martin of his Rapper. Oh, well, I tell you what, he's gotten well into the AlphaTauri that time, and yeah, Chief Braids has kind of let him go. I think Chief Braids may have realized he was weaving there a little bit. Now, it didn't look that egregious to me, but according to the rules, what it does say, any deviation from the racing line that impedes the forward progress of the driver behind you can result in a penalty, and I think that's what Chief Braids kind of decided there, was that, yeah, better to give that one up than face a report. Because you could make that argument he was in the way, but who am I to say? I don't steward this division, so but that's just my 2 cents. I could be wrong. We have 3 laps to go here. Valentine within a 1.5 seconds of Mandigos. I tell you what, Valentine's putting himself a good effort here, and for being oh my God, I thought he lost it there for a second. For being on those soft tires, I don't know. They've got to not be quite good at the moment. What's he on? 8-lap-old. Of course, he spent probably 2 of them behind the safety car, but still, it's not going to be helpful. Although, that being said, he had a 2.2-second gap on Tin Man the Rowdy about 2 laps ago. It's now about 3.4. So maybe he's doing all right enough, and he's staying, relatively... I guess Manigos is within sight of Valentine here, so any mistake by the McLaren could be capitalized upon. Red Bull of Gab in the slipstream of Tin Man here. And he's not going to have enough room this time, although if he gets away well, which I think, in fairness, the Alfa Romeo's gotten away what looks much better than the Red Bull that time. As they make their way through the spoon in towards turn 27. Well, it's much closer this time. We're going to have 2 laps to go, as Meme King leads them once more for the penultimate time in towards the first corner and through that first sector. Gab had a look there on Tin Man. Oh, Gab's gone deep into the corner. Well, I tell you what he wanted to do was have a peek at the inside of the Alfa Romeo, but what he's done is I think he's kind of maybe had a lockup there, and in trying to switch, well, he's gotten into the Haas there. In trying to switch his line, he's kind of outbraked himself, and he's gone deep, and now he's lost position to Call Me Maybe as well. As Gonzalez is retired, that coming out of turn 27. I don't know if that's on track or if he's binned it, I'm not too sure. Either way, that brings us down to 9. About a lap and a half to go here. Valentine, all credit where it's due, is starting to slightly close in on Mandigos here. He's almost within a second. Oh, I thought, okay, that was scary. That was a screen glitch. I thought something had terribly happened there. But this is good for Valentine. All he needs to do here is close out the final lap, carefully. He's not close enough to Mandigos, and I don't think he has enough battery either. Yeah, Mandigos has him on battery. For Valentine here, just get to the end. Even if you pick up a 3-second penalty, you've got almost 4.5 seconds back to Tin Man. Just get that car home, get yourself a podium, and it's going to be well-earned if he does. Final lap of the Grand Prix underway here. The Red Bull of Gab trying to find his way to Call Me Maybe. DRS activated for the Red Bull. Oh, he may have a chance here. No, not quite. Just a little too far away, although 0.2 of a second, it's quite close. Oh, this is interesting, though. Meme King is losing time to Los Manigos. Has something happened with the AlphaTauri? Because not long ago, he almost had a 4-second gap. He's lost about a second somewhere. That goes true for Valentine as well. He's now outside of 2 seconds on Mandigos, and he is kind of slipping backwards a little bit, but no worries for the time being. We'll say Valentine has made it through the difficult part of the track. For his sake, the worst part of the track is behind him now, that part's for sure. But Gab here, 0.4 of a second. Behind to Call Me Maybe. He's not going to have DRS until they get out of turn 17 and all the way down to turn 19. Oh, Gab's gone off the track. Yes, he has. He's gone deep into the corner. He will have DRS, but he is now well behind the Haas. As Meme King going through the spoon for the final time. In towards turn 27. He has absolutely earned his flowers today. That part is for sure. Not going to say he's had this race all to himself, but it has, by God, it's looked that. And as he takes the checkered flag, Meme King will win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. The second place goes to Mandigos. Third place, a well-earned podium for Valentine, who's kept it clean today for the most part. Mandigos leads the championship. That win he's looking for will have to wait another week. And it looks as if Call Me Maybe has stayed ahead of Gab there by about 0.3 of a second. That is going to do us for Saudi Arabia today. Pretty solid race nonetheless. Valentine driver of the day and well-earned as well. Well, as the drivers step onto the podium here, it's been a pleasure coming out with you this time again here in Division 3. We'll see you next week when we head to Portimao for the first time in 3 seasons. And yeah, we'll see you next week.